Okay, welcome to today's webinar. We're super excited to show you how to restore your credit. Here's the thing, though. If you're facing foreclosure, chances are your credit is shot. And most people on this call are probably going to think, well, so what? I'm screwed anyway. So credit is probably one of the least things that I have to worry about. And unfortunately, while that's true, and I'm going to show you how to fight foreclosure, one of the issues is you still have to live. In other words, you eventually your car will break. Eventually, you're going to need credit. You're going to need to get a new car. Or if the worst comes to the worst, you might have to rent a house, and then they're going to pull your credit, and then they have all these problems, and you're going to have to pay extra. It's just going to be a lot more problematic. So today I have a specialist here on credit restoration. Her name is Erin, and she's going to talk to us about how to restore your credit and actually get your life back on track. So, Erin, welcome to the call. I'm super excited.
Hi, Vince. Thank you for having me. I'm excited too.
So, tell me, just tell me about credit. Why is it important?
Credit's important because every aspect of your life nowadays is based on a risk factor, and unfortunately, they use your credit score to assess your risk. And so anything that you apply for, credit cards, rentals, utilities, anything where they ask for your Social Security number, they're assessing your risk, even jobs nowadays. Over 40% of employers pull credit reports with your authorization, of course, before they offer you employment or even during your term of employment. So keeping your credit in good standing is essential to help you save money on your daily basis, but also to help you keep or gain employment.
Absolutely, that's really important. So one of the things that my people go through, obviously, is that they're facing hardship and they have potentially foreclosure on their record and possibly even bankruptcy. So can you just tell me how credit score is kind of, it's kind of a big mystery for a lot of people. So can you just break it down for us?
Yeah, so most people don't even understand how their score is calculated, the math that goes into it. There's this huge algorithm, which we're not going to talk about, but we're going to break it down simply for you. So 35% of your credit score is based on payment histories. That's on time, late, charge-off, collections. Those are payment histories, believe it or not. Only 35%. So for your friends or whoever out there that says, I pay my bills on time, that means I have perfect credit? No. That means it's 35% perfect credit. So paying your bills is it's a big portion of it, but it's only a fifth of the equation, one of the 5 key factors. The second is utilization. Now, this is a nasty little thing that people always mess up on. You can pay your bills perfect on time, but you can have a low score if you're overutilized on your revolving lines of credit. Now, what that means is your credit card.
What does that mean exactly?
Yep, your credit cards. So credit card is considered a revolving line of credit, or a line of credit. Think of it as those doors at the airports or wherever you go that are those circle doors that you just keep going in and out, in and out. You charge that bad boy up. Once you pay it down, you have access to that line of credit again. You don't have to reapply, meaning that revolving amount is always available without reapplying. So utilization means the amount of money that you're using versus the limit that card has. So if you have a $1,000 credit card, you do not want to carry a balance from one month to the next or statement to statement more than 30% of the available limit. So more than $300, you don't want to go from month to month. If you carry over 30% from month to month, then it actually reflects negatively on your credit, even if you are paying the bill on time. If it's a credit card like a Capital One or something you're using monthly, use it revolvingly, like to pay your electric bill every month so that you're using it, but you're paying it off with your debit or your cash or checking account every month. So you are carrying a balance. You're using the card, but you're not having to spend more money every month buying stuff that you don't need. You're going to gain credit for stuff that you traditionally would pay cash for or your debit card. So you're going to gain credit. So paying it down would be best. Depending on if you have the money. If you're on 0% interest, then take advantage of the 0% interest. But if you're paying interest every month, it's actually better for you to pay it down to 0. But if you can't afford to pay it to 0, get it as close to 30 as possible.
So, Erin, a lot of people don't know who you are. So why don't you go through and just explain to us your history and also your sister as well, because you guys work as a team.
We are in Springfield, Oregon. My background is finance my whole life. I've got about 17 years in the industry. I've done anything from lending to collecting on a payday loan to a mortgage, repossession, foreclosures, garnishments. So I've done it all. So I'm able to look at a credit report and say, hey, this is how a mortgage person would look at you, or they lend you anything, yes, no, maybe so, or this is the issue, or that's the issue, or a car, or this and that. So we have the ability to look at that and see how they see you as a risk and help you get qualified for what you're trying to get qualified for and work on the most important and everything, but the most important things first. We're also able to help you with any sort of past due type accounts because we know as a collector what these people want, what they're going to say, how it works. People think that collections work one way, but there's multiple different ways that accounts get sent over. So there's not always buying on pennies on the dollar like people think, and that's why they try to settle for a really small amount, and it doesn't work for them. So we help clients with that as well.
Excellent. So can you just share with us some of the success stories that some of your clients have?
Yeah. The success is that's the best part of our business is what we do. I love to help people, and that's why we do this. So we have clients. We have clients that work at Walmart, and we have clients that are litigation attorneys. He's my favorite client. He works here in town. He's a litigation attorney, and he was working with a lender in town to buy a condo for about $50,000, and he had an owner-carry contract on it, and they worked with him for a couple of years, the lender did, to tell him, do this, do that, we'll get your credit where it needs to be, and they never could. So they finally sent him over to me. And within 4 months, we got him a new used car, for like $30,000 or $40,000 at like a super low rate, like under 5%. He was able to get the condo in his own name, $50,000, and then within a year of that, he turned around about a $400,000 home. So in a year, he was able to get done more than he did in several years working with the local lender. We had another client that had been telling their landlords that they were going to clean their credit up and buy the house that they were renting. Landlords got tired of it. They gave them a notice to move out, and they put the house on the market. These people were distraught. Where were they going to go? They had a bunch of kids and a bunch of dogs, and their credit was in the toilet. And they called me 4 or 5 months before that, and I told them the process and how long it was going to take. We were able to get the husband scores up 150 points in less than 60 days, get them qualified for a mortgage. They found a house. They made an offer. They moved out. They did have to have temporary living for 30 days, but they were into their new home. So they didn't have to move out and rent another place and any of those kind of things. We were able to help that family establish where they were going. Those are just a couple small stories.
Did you say 30 days or 60 days?
In less than 60 days, we were able to get his scores up. And
that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That made my head spin. That's incredible.
Yeah, my favorite calls are when the clients call me crying. They call me crying because they bought a home. They thought they could never do it again. They had an issue, whether it be they were young and dumb at one point, they had a medical issue, they lost a job, bankruptcy, foreclosure, whatever these issues are they had, anything from a small one-time 30-day late, one-time collection to massive amounts of one of our clients, he's a business owner, and he had 40 tax liens. That's just to start on his report. 40 tax liens. And we got 37 of them removed in 60 days. And we're still we got most of the rest of them removed, but there's a bunch of other stuff. But that's huge because that impacted his score hugely. He couldn't get a business loan. He couldn't do any of these kind of things. He was about ready to lose some of his relationships with his partners because of it.
One of the things I love about working with you guys is that you guys are actually result-based. You don't charge like a lot of other companies do. I've heard of a lot of companies that go, well, you pay us $100 a month and we'll continue to work on your credit for as long as it takes. And you guys are different. You guys actually work on the result base. Can you kind of go into that for me?
Yeah. So we don't like to do the monthly because, again, people feel like, they're paying monthly and they focus more on that. And they want to see stuff based on what they're getting done. So we charge based on items. So there's an audit in the beginning to get an overall assessment of what's going on with your credit. I like to say it's like taking inventory and getting an explanation. And then after that, we start on your repair. Now, you don't get charged anything unless we delete or repair an item. If we can get your late payments and those accounts that were showing late to show positive, that's a repair. Obviously, deletion is like taking a big fat eraser and just removing it from the report so it's not in your calculation. Nobody ever knows about it, and it's none of their business anymore. So when those items happen, then we send you an invoice for those. items, and those are the ones you pay for. So if you never have an item removed, which doesn't happen, then you never pay us anything. But if we remove 100% of your items, then you have a bill for 100% of them. And we also know that not everybody has a bunch of money, so we work with our clients on a payment plan to get this taken care of for them. Our goal is to get you in and out as quick as possible, to get you your desired results so you can continue to live your life and get on to where you want to get on to, and get your credit mistakes behind you.
Well, here's the other thing, though, because if you go on one of those monthly plans, it's in those companies' interest to drag it out because they want that monthly payment from you. And every month that you have bad credit does count. It does hurt you. You do suffer additional pain and financial costs as a result of bad credit. It's not just how much you pay out front on a monthly basis. That's almost an insignificant cost, relatively speaking, if you were denied a loan or you were unable to get a job as a result of bad credit.
Yeah, there's, some people focus on the monthly fee, and they would like to go with a company that charges less, and they got to pay attention. And we have clients that don't want to work with us because we charge differently. There's another company that's nationwide, and they charge less than we do, but they only work on one bureau a month and 3 items per bureau. So they drag out your credit repair for years. So when you do the math on the monthly fee that you're paying for years, and then the amount of money you pay to interest, extra higher car insurance rates, like you said, denial of a loan, denial of a job, having to move, like our clients that had to move out of their rental, they could have had to put huge deposits down for a new rental, all those different kind of things that they would have done. And then, so in the long run, it does cost you more money to go with somewhere that is that way because they do want your monthly payment. They want that residual payment every single month. They want to drag it out.
Absolutely. So, this is all great and good and well, but let's just get back down to brass tacks. I got a credit problem. I just how would I, per se, I'm just role-playing, obviously. How would I restore my credit if I wanted to do it myself? Can you just kind of walk me through that process?
Yeah. Credit repair is something that you can absolutely do yourself. It takes a lot of follow-through. You have to understand what's going on and how to get the people to do what you want to do. So there's this thing called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. It was created 20, 30 years ago, and it says that they have to report things on your credit accurately. It's a big, long novel, like an encyclopedia, so you have to understand it. So first of all, you need to look at your credit report. You need to look to see if the items are accurate or inaccurate, whether they're negative or positive. You dispute the items, but you have to know how to dispute the items properly. So let's say you figure that out. Then you go ahead and you dispute the items. Then the bureaus send you back letters that are called dispute result letters. Now you've got to learn how to read them. All 3 of them are different. So you got to read it to figure out did they do what I wanted or did they not do what I wanted? There's no credit scores on them, so you have no idea.
Most of the time when you get those letters back, they say, nope, that account is verified. So, what do I do then?
So then you have to move 10 degrees to the right and try a different tactic, and that's where you have to know the Fair Credit Reporting Act. You have to know those things to say, hey, I said this wasn't right last time. Now you've got to try it a different way to get them to verify or validate. You ask them who they verified it with. Get them to provide that documentation to you. And then once you get that documentation, then you've got to send it off back to them, make sure that they read it or don't read. It's a lot of follow-through to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they have a lot of stall tactics. They send a lot of bogus letters out that say things that make you wonder what's going on. They send you out letters in the middle of the disputes asking for additional information, and if you provide it, it extends the dispute time. They send the dispute result letters in plain envelopes so they look like garbage, so you throw them away. If you throw them away, you have no idea what happened. There's no way to find out what happened. So you can absolutely do it. It takes a while to do it. We have a free download for a DIY credit repair, so you absolutely can do it by yourself. Not many people are successful.
Let me share with you.
So much follow through.
Well, let me share with you my personal, because I've had to do this myself. And firstly, if you're facing foreclosure, you have a lot of problems, a lot of stress in your hands anyway, and having to add on top of that and having the discipline to be sure to follow up every couple of weeks to make sure that the letter was received. And then they write back, and then you dispute that response. I've had to do it myself, and I was successful in removing a lot of stuff. But let me tell you, it's an absolute pain in the ass, and you just have so much discipline to have to follow through on top of your kids, your jobs, just everything else that's going on in your life, and then having to have the discipline to continue to follow through, make sure they get those items removed, and if they don't, what to do after that, and just having the persistence can be and is a pain in the ass. I'm actually talking from personal experience here.
Yeah, it is. It is, and a lot of people, we have clients that call us and they decide they want to do it on their own. We have a lady that my sister, another business owner here in town, and she, about a year ago, she asked my sister, she told her what we do and what our pricing was, and she says, you know what, I'm going to do it by myself. Well, she just called us a couple months ago, and she says, I need your help. Not only did it not work, it backfired like your sister said it would. So I need your help. So she tried all by herself, and not only did not work, it got worse, which can happen. So yes, it is a pain in the butt, and that's what we do. We're professionals. You guys have lives and jobs, so don't go do your life, have your job, and let us take care of the things for you that are difficult, time-consuming, and overwhelming.
So what do you do then? Tell my listeners, what makes you different? What do you do? Why should we go through you?
Okay, so what makes us different is a lot of different things. One is our background in all of the diverse finance and credit. Most companies that do what we do, they learn just to get into the industry. Something has happened and they repaired their own credit, so they start doing that. So they know what they know, but they don't know anything else. The other is that we're honest. We're not in it to take people for granted. Clients call us, and if they need some, they have little tiny things that's not really worth our time, we'll just tell them what to do at no charge and tell them, go, here you go. Education is huge with us. We will not work with a client if they do not take the education that we offer, because we don't want to see them again as a credit repair client. We understand things happen, and sometimes they have to come back. But we want to educate them so that they understand, and so that the next time they're faced with one of these choices, they understand the full ramifications of that choice prior to making it, so that they know. That's what's different about us. And so we educate our clients that we're going to be honest with you. We have a great, huge background in finance and credit. We want you to be successful. We're local, and we want to help people. So we're not in it as this big conglomerate and use you as just a number. You're number 3 that pays us this many dollars a month. We want to help our clients be successful and build that reputation and have them get what they want, build the life they want with the credit they deserve.
Well, let me share with you my personal experience, because before deciding to work with you guys, I want to make sure that you guys are legitimate. So I'm actually going through Erin and Karen's process with them. I'm actually working with the client, and as you know, one of the processes that I use and I recommend is to go through the bankruptcy process, because in the bankruptcy system, you have a lot more rights as a homeowner, as a debtor, than you do in state court. So that's why I did the way I did to discover the things that I've discovered through the bankruptcy process. But having a bankruptcy in my credit report has hurt me, and I didn't know that you can actually challenge that. I've always thought that that's just a state matter of fact. And now working with Karen and Erin, they're going to work with me to remove some of those derogatory items that I've had to live with and have many, many times had my credit denied because of that. So I know that they're good. And one of the great things I love about working with them is their automation, and the system is bar none. I come from a computer programming systems background, so I know about systems automation and systems processes, and I've been, let me tell you, very, very, very impressed with the degree of reporting. So one of the things that they do is they tell you exactly the moment anything happens, that letters in dispute, a new charge has happened, anything that happens, a letter's been written out, an item's been removed, every single thing that has happened with my file is reported to me in near real time, and that's just amazing. I'm frankly blown away. So I mean, there's just a lot of things about them, and I'm personally vouching for them. They're fabulous ladies. They're great to work with, and they're very friendly, and they're not out to make a buck. Because when I recommend a vendor to work with, I'm stating my reputation, and I'm stating my reputation with these ladies. Karen and Erin are fantastic to work with, so I really, really highly recommend them.
Yeah, the other great thing about us is that we, we're one of the only people that do what we do in our state in Oregon, but we aren't limited to that. We have a network of thousands of other people in our industry that band together as a group. So if you have an issue on your credit, or I have clients' issues, people call me all the time and say, I have this issue. How did you get it taken care of with your client? We have thousands of other people that do what we do throughout the country that we call, and they help us. If we're having issues getting an item removed, they help us do it. They want us to be successful too. There's no competition between our networking of what we do. There are people that compete with us out there, but there's more than enough clients for all of us. So we want to help each other. We want to build each other up, and we want to build up the rapport and the credit repair industry so that it doesn't have a bad stink that it got 15 years ago. So we are different in that aspect. There's a lot of companies out there that keep everything to themselves and they don't help others. That is not how we work. We help our other credit repair companies. We have a friend in New York that's got a business. Our friend in Arkansas built a software that we use that does all this great automation. We're all about educating each other and our clients. So that makes it very, very different than what most people get in any industry. Most people are very close-cuffed, but we're not. We share.
In case you miss what Aaron does, here's the deal. Because when I did it myself, right, I had to write those credit dispute letters. I had to send them out by certified mail, make sure it gets received, file it away somewhere. And when I get the letter back, I then write the dispute challenge letter, and I go that, send it certified mail, wait, and do it, and do the letter process back and forth. In case you miss it, Aaron and Karen, that's what they do. They handle all of that communication for you. You sit back, and those items magically get removed if they cannot prove or verify the items on that credit report. It's incredible the amount of work that's involved, and the amount of discipline to track all those things is mind-boggling.
Yeah, we try to make it very easy for our clients. They really only have a couple of jobs while they're with us. Continue to pay your bills on time. Do not apply for any credit while you're working with us, and get us those dispute result letters when you get them. Check every piece of mail and get those to us, because they tell us what they did or didn't do, and they don't always respond to everything. So that's really the biggest part of what our clients are supposed to do. They don't have to worry about what's on the report and this and that. We answer questions. They get a portal that they can log into anytime, day or night, that has their progress in there. They can send us little love notes. There's a little chat in there. They can upload stuff, all sorts of stuff. We want it to be as easy as possible because we know this is a very sensitive subject, and it's very stressful. We want to make it easy, simple, and happy for them. We want them to be happy in the end, and we want them to go out there and get past it. We don't want them to be embarrassed anymore or be stopped on getting credit or buying things. We want to take care of that for them, and we want to make it as easy as possible because we know it's been stressful and very hard.
Fantastic. So tell me, let's say, just go through that process. What would that look like if I wanted to become your client? What should I expect?
Okay, so you get in contact with us, however that is, and then the first thing we need to do is we need to see a copy of your credit report. Most people think they know what's on there, but they usually don't. So we need to look at it as the experts and go, these are the items that are really bothering your credit. What's your goal? Okay, so we're going to work on your credit differently based on your goals. And educate you differently based on what you're trying to work towards. So we would look at your credit report, see what's on there, and then we'd let you know, hey, look, okay, so you have these items on here. These need our attention, and we can help you with that. And then so the next step would be we do an audit. The audit's the coolest part of our process, honestly. You get this really cool report, very, very easy to read. Every single item on your report has a breakdown, good, bad, ugly, why, definition, description, and a suggestion of what needs to be done with it. Super cool, and it has some education in it. So you get the audit. That explains everything, and it gives you an estimate of everything that's on your report currently was deleted or repaired, what the total cost would be overall. They have that happen. And again, you only pay for items that are taken care of. So once you say, okay, great, Aaron, I got the audit. We went through this. I see the estimate. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Great. So we put in a contract in your portal. You sign it via the computer. You can sign it on your mobile. Everything's mobile friendly too. Give us a little bit more information, and then we start the disputes. We send them out. You get an email or notification letting you know that happens. In 30 days or so, you should get your dispute result letters. We do a file review. That lets us know what's been deleted, what not. And then after that, you get an email letting you know what happened, if things were removed and whatnot. You get that in your portal. And then we start your next round of disputes. And then again, it's just a cycle every single time. Disputes, you get the results, you give them to us, we enter them. Anything that's left on there, we move 10 degrees to the right or left, try a different tactic, start your disputes again. 30 days, you get your result letters back. It's a cycle, but you get communications with us the whole entire time, and you have access to the portal to see where you're at as well. So that's how the process works. And then when you have your file review, that's when you get an invoice for anything that's been removed or deleted.
Fantastic. Hey, and one of the things that I've missed out on earlier is another alternative strategy that you spoke about that I was really, really highly intrigued about, and that's about the business credit. Can you kind of go into that? Let's say my credit's in the toilet, but I do have a business.
Okay.
Can you kind of talk about that?
It happens a lot. A lot of business owners have issues with their credit because there's a lot of other extra expenses, and they're worried about making payroll, so they get tax liens and different things. That beside, you want to build credit in your EIN. So if you don't know what that is, that's basically your Social Security for your business. You file with the feds. You file with the state locally to register your business, and then you file with the feds, and that's your tax ID number basically. So you can build business credit in your EIN. You can get credit cards. You can get loans. You can get lines of credit. You can do all these different kinds of things, accounts at like Dell and whatnot. And the benefit to that is that when you build your business credit, when you apply for something, you go down to the car lot and you're like, hey, I have a landscaping business. I want to apply for a loan. They go, great, what's your social? And you go, nope, I want to put it in my business name. So you put John's Landscaping, and where the social is, you give them the EIN, which is the same amount of numbers. Then you get what's called a PAYDEX score, which is your business credit score, and they pull that. And if you have a good PAYDEX score, which usually takes about 6 months to build, then you can get stuff put in your business name, in your EIN. Therefore, it's separate. So when you try to go buy something as a person for you and your family, that debt is not on your personal credit report. So it's not affecting your debt-to-income ratio. If there's late payments on it, it does not affect your personal credit. So you're separating that so your credit is available for you and your family, and you're using credit for your business in your business's name. You're getting credit cards, paying things. Businesses need more money. You're going to have more debt and credit, and you need to put that in your business name so that it doesn't affect your ability to get approved for things for your personal and your family.
That's fantastic. And so you can help my clients get set up with a credit profile and training and build their business credit up for them?
Yeah. So that system as well. You get a cool portal. It's got step by step. It's really super easy. It goes with progression as you go. Do you have an EIN? Yes. Then it takes you somewhere else. But if you clicked no, it would take you somewhere else to help you go get it. There's videos in there. Again, we're here to access to help and whatnot if you have any questions. But it has all of that to walk you through it. Very easy, very easily written for anybody to understand. So, yes, we help them with that. But they also get emails, and they get that portal so they can access it at any time and go at their own pace as well. So that's something very important to have, and we do help them with that. And so the big benefit of having business credit separate, with the second benefit is if you have poor personal credit because something's happened, then your business, you can still get credit in your business name. You can still get funding. You can still take out loans. You can still get lines of credit based off your EIN, even if you have issues with your personal credit. You're facing foreclosure on your personal credit, you can still get a loan or a truck in your business name in your EIN if you have a PAYDEX score built up.
And I don't have to have a bunch of receivables or history. I can start fresh, correct? Because here's the thing that I learned from you is, let's say I have a 15-year-old business, but I have not really done a lot in terms of credit for my business. So in the world of credit, my company is a baby, correct?
Correct. It's brand new. Yeah, there's several different things. There's building business credit, which is a long-term thing. That is something you're doing for the long term of your business to get these big accounts. And your business, if you were ever to sell it, is worth more money because those lines of credit and accounts go with the business because they're in the EIN. So you can sell your business with those lines of credit. It's worth more money. But there's also funding. We help businesses that do not have a business credit profile set up or a PAYDEX score. Like if you've been in business for 15 years and you've never had anything in your EIN, that means you don't have credit in your EIN. So we can help them get funding. You're a baby. We can help you get funding, which is different than credit. Credit is, again, your long-term goal, what you're building to sustain your business. Funding is the temporary amounts of money that you're getting. And so we can help people get business funding, even if they're brand new, like literally just started their business yesterday. We can help them get funding. We get $50,000 to $200,000 all the time for our clients, 0% for 12 to 24 months. There's so many different kinds of funding depending on what they're needing, depending on where we can get them. And a lot of those, you don't need any sort of profit and loss statements. You don't need any of that kind of stuff. So there are alternate ways to do it.
And this is with my business, even though my personal credit is in the toilet.
Yes, there are different types. There are some that if you had your credit was good, you qualify for more and different programs. If you have issues with your credit, then you qualify for other programs. But that's the benefit with us, is that we can look at that in our approval process. It comes back and says you qualify for this. But if you did this and this, you could qualify for more. So we're like, oh, okay, that judgment on there. Let's get that judgment off, and then you can get more money over here. Or if you did this, you could get more money. So, yes, even if you have credit issues, you can still qualify for some programs. If you have good credit, you qualify for a lot more programs and a lot more money. But that's where we come in, is that we can work with you on both. Some companies do one but not the other, and we help you do both. So we have another client we work with, and she's actually a local realtor, and her husband got sick, and they had a lot of medical bills. And they had a line of credit on their home, and the bank actually shut that line of credit down because their credit had gotten their score had gotten so low and their risk became so high. They had, $100,000 in equity, and they wouldn't let them access any of it. Even though they'd always made their house payment on time, their other bills, their current credit cards and stuff, were being paid on time. And as a realtor, she needs to have good credit. She's selling homes, and she needs to access money and all the different kind of things. And who doesn't want to have access to that $100,000 in equity in their home? So she called me, and she said, hey, I need some help. And I looked at their credit, and I said, yes, you do. So we helped her. So their scores went up, it was like 170 points over. It happened. A lot of it happens quickly in the first 100 points in the first 90 days. But over 6 months, it went up 170 points or so. All of the collections were removed. All of the judgments were removed. They went back to the bank. Since then, their house is appraised more. They got a line of credit reopened for more than they had. And what they did was they refinanced the whole house and took it out as a HELOC, and they just borrowed the rest of the money on it, and so they have access that she can do whatever she wants to do. But now she got a new car. She needed a newer, nicer, bigger car to drive her clients around. So these are things that we've done to help a local realtor. And so she sends us clients all the time because she gets clients that have credit issues. And so they come to us so we can help them get their homes. We have another client who, down in the same area, had a house on the market for sale. They had an offer accepted on that home. And they had another home they were wanting to buy, and they'd put an offer in, and that offer had been accepted. But they also had some issues that were hanging them up further to get the new mortgage. So they potentially could have lost all that money on the house they were selling and have been sit there until somebody else wanted to buy the house. And it was a very expensive home before they can get into the new home and lose that home that was their dream home that somebody was selling. They called me in a pinch. Well, the realtor called me, and they had some issues. They had a lease that they turned in, and when they turned it in, there were disposition fees, and they didn't pay them. I don't know what the deal was. They didn't pay the bill. So a year later, after they turned it in, it went to a charge-off for $1,000. That charge-off was killing them. They could not get a mortgage because of that. So they called me, and I went ahead, and I was able to help them in about 90 days get the charge-off removed from their report. Within 15 days, we had the charge-off taken care of. The company agreed to remove it. And all the late payments for the past year that they were reporting on this, not just the charge-off, but the late payments of 180 days past due for a year. We got the company to remove it, and within 90 days, all the bureaus were updated. Their score went up 120 points or something like that. They got into their new home. They sold their old home. They did it was amazing. They were able to do that and make that money and they do that move, all because we were able to help them get that item removed from their credit. We put them on hold. while they did that deal, and then they came back after they bought the house, and we finished the rest of their credit up. And since then, they've opened a business, and we've helped them get funding to open a local brewery. So the credit repair has done a lot for them, a lot for them.
Well, that's amazing because a lot of my clients who's listening on this call have a lot of stress on their minds. They have foreclosure, they're dealing with credit card and late fees and all that stuff. So this is extremely handy. So what's the next step if one of my clients is interested in having you help them? What should they do?
Well, at the end of this webinar, there will be a link for you to fill out a form for us to contact you. Fill it out, your name and contact information. Let us know what's going on. We'll get that information, and then we will go ahead and we'll get a hold of you and talk to you about what's going on. You'll get a free consultation. So we'll go over your credit report with you, see what's going on, and see if you need our services or something we can tell you to do yourself, if it's simple. Or if you do need our services, we'll work with you to get enrolled, do an audit, and start your credit repair.
I mean, it seems to me like it's a no-brainer. I mean, like if I have credit problems and you're going to help go through my items, and if it's something as simple I can do myself, you can just tell me what to do so I can just take care of myself. I mean, shit, it seems like it's a no-brainer. I'd be an idiot if I don't pick that up.
Yeah, it is a no-brainer. I mean, the consultation's free. You do need to get a copy of your credit report, which usually is about $40, and there's a site online that you can go to, but that's something that you have to get for us to be able to take a peek at it, to see everything on all three bureaus, because not everything reports across the board. So for $40, I mean, the consultation's free, but you probably should look at your credit report anyways to see what's on there and have an idea. But yeah, it's a no-brainer. Give us a call. We'll go over it with you. We're pretty friendly, and we'll give it to you straight and let you know how things are going.
That's one of the things I love working with you and your sister. Is just you guys are just so honest and upfront. I mean, you slap me silly if I stray from the course as well. So which is good. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you just need a mama to slap you and say, look, you're being an idiot. Get back on the program. And you guys are really, really good about coaching and getting people back into the right program, better spending habits, better budgeting habits, all that. You basically you've become good friends of me in terms of the credit management and budgeting program. I love working with you guys. So yeah, definitely work with Erin and Karen. They're fantastic ladies. Just fill out the form. You should see the form appearing on the webinar right now. Go ahead and click on that link, and then fill out the information requested on the form. It's very, very straightforward. Basically, it shows your contact information and what's going on in your life. You're facing foreclosure, or you lost your job, what's going on, and then tell us what you're needing to do. Like, for example, you're going to buy a new car, etc. And then Erin and Karen will call you back and give you a free consultation and work with you from there on. It really is a very simple process. And if you have credit problems, it does cost you. Don't put it off. Definitely give us a call. And Karen and Erin have limited space, so be sure to call. We have a lot of people on this call, and the space is limited, so be sure to get on as soon as possible, and don't wait another day. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. I really look forward to talking with you at a future date. With that, we're going to end this call. Thank you.